You know that moment every morning when you grab your coffee, swipe your card, and feel that tiny thrill? It's harmless, right? Just a cup of coffee. But here's the thing. If you do that every single day, that little cup might actually be silently bleeding you out of $10,000 a year. Yeah, 10,000. And if you're sitting there thinking, that's just coffee, Nick, calm down, stick with me. Because this is exactly where most people get it wrong. My name is Nico, and I spend way too much time thinking about how everyday choices silently shape your financial life. If you're someone who feels like no matter how much you earn, your money disappears too fast, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, because today we're about to uncover something that hits closer to home than any budget spreadsheet ever will. Now look, let's start with the math. Assume your coffee costs $5. That's a pretty standard latte, right? And let's say you buy it 5 days a week, 50 weeks a year. That's $5 times 5 times 50 equals $1,250. Not nothing, but still feels manageable. Here's what most people don't realize. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Because when you invest that $1,250 instead of spending it over 30 years at a conservative 7% return, that little daily habit balloons into over $120,000. And that's just one cup of coffee a day. Now think about what happens if you're buying pastries, smoothies, or other small treats on top of that. Suddenly, your morning ritual isn't just a $5 habit. It's a multi-$1,000 leak in your financial ship. And here's where it gets really interesting. The math is only half the story. Most people never think about the psychology behind it. Humans are wired for immediate gratification. That warm, creamy latte feels amazing right now, and your brain doesn't naturally account for the opportunity cost 30 years from today. It's called temporal discounting, and it's why you're perfectly fine spending $5 now, but shocked when your bank account is empty at the end of the month. Now you might be thinking, Nico, I need that coffee. I work hard. I deserve it. Totally valid. I get it. But here's the nuance. Your habit is only harmless if it's intentional. Most people aren't thinking intentionally. They're letting dopamine-driven micro-decisions dictate their long-term wealth. And this is exactly why so many decent earners still feel like they're running in place financially. Let me tell you a story. I had a friend, let's call him Alex, who never thought twice about his Starbucks runs. $6 here, $4 there. Over a month it looked like, oh, maybe $120. Not terrible, right? But he had been doing this for 10 years. 10 years. That's $14,400 literally thrown away, or worse, lost potential growth if he had invested it. When he realized it, he said, wow, my morning routine cost me my first rental property down payment. And he wasn't joking. Here's another thing most people don't realize. This isn't just about the money. It's about control. Every time you mindlessly spend, you're giving away autonomy over your financial future. The cost isn't just dollars. It's missed opportunities, freedom, and the psychological comfort of knowing you're ahead instead of scrambling. Now let's dig even deeper. Here's the part that shocks most people. Coffee isn't the problem. The problem is habit stacking. You think, oh, it's just $5. But then there's the mid-morning pastry, lunch out, the daily energy drink, Uber rides instead of walking, all tiny expenses. And yet, together, they become a financial sinkhole. If you're averaging $15 a day on micro habits like this, that's $3,750 a year. Invested at 7% over 30 years, that's over $360,000. Suddenly, your daily treats aren't treats. They're silent wealth destroyers. So what do you do about it? First, audit your daily habits. Not just the obvious ones. Look at every recurring expense. Coffees, lunches, subscriptions, impulse buys. Write them down. Seeing it on paper hits differently. It's not abstract, it's real. Second, replace, don't just remove. Swap one habit with a micro win. Brew coffee at home for $1.50 instead of $5. Invest the $3.50 difference. That small swap might not feel life-changing today, but in 20-30 years, your future self will high-five you harder than any cup of Starbucks ever could. Third, make it automatic. Set up recurring investments for what you use to spend. Out of sight, out of mind, but in growth, your money works for you silently. This is how small daily sacrifices compound into serious financial freedom. Now here's a psychological insight you'll want to remember. Humans respond to framing. When you think, I'm saving $5, it feels like deprivation. But when you think, I'm investing $5 to create $120,000 in 30 years, suddenly the choice feels empowering. That's the trick. Reframe small daily decisions as building blocks of your future, not temporary sacrifices. And let's make it even more real. Imagine you're 25. You start this habit today. Every coffee you skip, every little micro expense you redirect to investments, it doesn't feel like much. But by the time you're 55, you could have enough passive wealth to fund years of freedom, all from decisions most people ignore or laugh off. That's the insane power of compound interest and intentional living. Here's the ultimate kicker, and the part that surprises almost everyone. It's not about deprivation, it's about choice. You still get your coffee, but now it's intentional. You know exactly what it costs you, not just in dollars, but in long-term wealth and psychological leverage. And once you see the math, once you understand how your brain tricks you, suddenly that latte becomes a tool, not a trap. Look, I know it feels small. $5 seems trivial, but the difference between financial frustration and financial freedom is often a string of tiny decisions stacked over decades. Your morning coffee is just the most relatable example, and once you control that, everything else starts to make sense. Lunch habits, subscriptions, impulse buys, you start seeing the leaks and plugging them before they sink your financial ship. So here's my challenge to you. Tomorrow morning, grab your coffee, but do one thing differently. Either brew it yourself, invest the difference, or at least track what you're spending. Do it for 30 days and watch how your relationship with small daily expenses changes. I promise it's way more empowering than you think, because here's the ultimate truth. Wealth isn't just about earning more, it's about making small, intentional choices every single day. And when you start, even the tiniest habit, like your morning coffee, can become the cornerstone of a $10,000, $50,000, or even $100,000 gain over your lifetime. Remember, financial freedom isn't flashy, it's quiet. It's the invisible wins you stack while everyone else is distracted by momentary thrills. It's boring math, repeated consistently with a little psychology thrown in. And that's why your morning coffee isn't just coffee, it's a test of your financial awareness. So if this made you rethink your latte, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and drop a comment. What small habit are you going to hack for your future self? Let's make these micro decisions the thing that actually changes your life, because here's the truth. Your $5 coffee today is either a tiny thrill that costs you tens of thousands tomorrow, or the first step toward building the life you actually want. The choice is yours.